My beloved children, something extraordinary is stirring in the unseen, even as you read these words. You did not arrive here by accident. A gentle thread of mercy guided you, because heaven does not warn to frighten, but to protect. I speak to you with a mother's tenderness, and I stand in union with the righteous strength of Saint Michael the Archangel, who defends truth when confusion rises like fog. Listen closely, not with anxious thoughts, but with an open heart. You have felt it, have you not? The strange weight in the air, the way the world feels louder, yet somehow emptier, the way people speak faster, react harder, and love less. You have watched the news, the arguments, the unrest, and even when you try to ignore it, your spirit still whispers that something is shifting. You are not imagining it, your soul is discerning the times. And because you are discerning, the enemy wants you to do one of two things: either to fall asleep spiritually and say nothing matters, or to panic and say nothing can be done. Both are traps. One makes you careless, the other makes you blind. But I have come to lead you to the third way, which is vigilance with peace, preparation with love, courage without hatred. My children, you have heard people speak of a coming blackout, a season when lights fail and systems tremble. Many speak about it with fear, as if the goal is to scare you into restless nights. But I am not permitted to speak to you like that. I am permitted to call you back to what is essential. Whether darkness comes through a failure in the world's structures or through the slow extinction of faith inside hearts, the danger is the same. A soul that forgets God becomes easily governed by fear. You may be tempted to ask me for an exact date, as if knowing a number on a calendar would save you. But listen to your mother. A date does not protect you. A purified heart protects you. A home rooted in prayer protects you. A conscience that refuses to trade truth for comfort protects you. Heaven's warnings are not meant to turn you into countdown watchers. They are meant to turn you into light bearers. Still, I will not leave you without clarity. There is a timing that matters, and it is not written on clocks in the way you think. The timing is this: the world is moving into a tighter corridor of pressure, where confusion will increase, where voices will demand quick allegiance, where fear will be sold as wisdom, and where many will accept false solutions simply because they are tired. This is why Saint Michael stands at the gate of this message. Because in that corridor, discernment will be your shield. Do you understand, my child? The greatest danger is not the absence of electricity in a house. The greatest danger is the absence of faith in a heart. When the outer lights dim, false lights will offer themselves. Smooth voices will promise order. Strong voices will demand obedience. Polished words will say, "Give up a little truth to gain a little peace." And those who are not rooted will not even notice the trade they are making until their conscience feels dull and their hope feels far away. This is why I am speaking now, before confusion thickens. I am speaking now, while you still have the ability to choose without pressure. I am speaking now, while grace still knocks gently rather than loudly. Because when fear becomes widespread, people do not think clearly. They follow crowds. They grasp for control. They become suspicious, harsh, divided. The enemy loves that atmosphere. Division is a doorway. Hatred is a doorway. Despair is a doorway. And I have come to teach you how to close those doors. I invite you to take a small but sincere step right now. If something in your heart recognizes that these words are for you, subscribe to this channel as an act of faith, not out of routine, and not as a gesture, but as a calm choice that says, I am willing to listen, to prepare, and to remain attentive. Let this be a simple sign that you are open to being led further into truth, my children. Do not prepare by filling your home with panic. Prepare by filling your home with peace. Do not prepare by turning against people. Prepare by returning to God. If you have not prayed in a long time, begin again simply. If you do not know what to say this: Lord, I am here. I need you. Teach me to trust. That prayer, spoken sincerely, shakes darkness more than you realize. If your household has become cold, restore warmth through forgiveness. If you have carried bitterness, do not let it become your personality. You were not created to live like a clenched fist. You were created to live like a steady flame. And the enemy fears a steady flame more than a loud voice, because a steady flame cannot be manipulated. Saint Michael asks me to tell you something else, and it is firm, but it is love. You must watch what enters your home, not only through doors, but through screens, conversations, habits, and hidden compromises. Some of you have allowed constant noise, constant anger, constant mockery, constant impurity, constant cynicism. You say it is normal because everyone does it. But my children, what is common is not always safe. When you invite darkness daily, you will feel darkness as normal. And then, when trials come, you will not know how to find peace. So I call you back. Return to the sacred. Return to prayer. Return to a clean conscience. Return to humility. If you have fallen, do not hide. Come back. If you have been stubborn, doing everything alone, refusing help, refusing grace, hear your mother now. Pride isolates. Humility restores. You do not need to be perfect to return. You only need to be willing. My child, I see what weighs on you. I see the private stress you do not show. I see the sleeplessness, the worry for your family, the fear that you are behind, the guilt that you have drifted. Listen, you are not alone. I am with you. Heaven is nearer than your next breath. And if you feel it in your heart, share in the comments what you have been facing, not to be exposed, but to be united. When one soul speaks honestly, another soul feels less alone, and the enemy loses power when isolation breaks. Do not leave this message halfway, my beloved. Staying to the end is not about curiosity, it is about covering. It is about understanding the signs heaven is placing in your life right now, quietly, repeatedly, gently, because yes, signs are already present, not to scare you, but to awaken you. A sudden heaviness when you try to pray, a strange urgency to change your life, a repeated thought that says, return to God. Moments when you feel called to step away from certain habits. These are not random, child. Remain here. I will show you the specific pattern of warning that Saint Michael has been allowed to reveal, the spiritual meaning behind the outer darkness, and the safe path that keeps a household steady when others collapse into fear. Until then, hold this one truth close. Darkness may approach, but it will never be greater than the light that comes from God. And that light can live inside you, starting today. My beloved children, remain attentive, for what I reveal now is meant to strengthen your discernment in the days that approach. I am the Virgin Mary, and I speak not from distance, but from closeness. I walk beside your days. I see your nights. I hear the questions you whisper when no one else is listening. My chosen one, I awakened your heart to the truth that something is shifting. Now I must guide you deeper so that fear does not mislead you and false certainty does not trap you. Many souls will stumble not because they are evil, but because they are unprepared to discern. Discernment is not suspicion. It is clarity born from prayer. The time that is approaching will feel compressed. Events will unfold faster than many expect. Decisions will be demanded quickly. Information will be overwhelming and often contradictory. In such moments, the soul that has not learned to pause with God will feel pressured to react instead of respond. This is why I ask you now to slow your heart, even as the world accelerates. You must understand this clearly, my children. Darkness does not conquer by force alone. It conquers by confusion. When people no longer know whom to trust, they begin to trust whatever speaks loudest. When truth becomes tiring, lies become comfortable. When faith is treated as optional, fear becomes authority. This is why Saint Michael the Archangel stands watch over this message. His mission is not only to fight visible evil, but to protect truth when it is diluted, mocked, or traded away. He defends the soul's right to remain free before God. The blackout I have spoken of will be discussed in many ways. Some will explain it through technology, some through politics, some through human error. These explanations may carry partial truth, but do not stop there. Heaven sees what unfolds beneath the surface. When outer systems fail, inner systems are revealed. When structures collapse, foundations are tested. Many have built their lives on speed, comfort, and constant stimulation. Silence will feel unbearable to them. Stillness will feel threatening. In that discomfort, they will search desperately for voices that promise relief. Be careful, my children. Not every solution that calms anxiety protects the soul. I tell you this gently but firmly. There will be voices that say, surrender a little conscience so that order may return. Accept a little falsehood so that peace may be restored. Remain quiet so that stability is preserved. These voices will not sound evil. They will sound reasonable. They will sound protective. And that is why discernment is essential. Ask yourselves this question when you hear such voices. Does this lead me closer to God, or does it replace God with control, fear, or convenience? The answer will often come quietly, but it will be clear to a heart that is honest. Do not believe that preparation means storing fear in your home. Fear multiplies what it touches. Preparation means anchoring your life where storms cannot uproot it. Prayer is not an escape. It is alignment. When you pray, you are not closing your eyes to reality. You are opening them to truth. If prayer has felt dry to you, do not abandon it. Dryness is not absence. It is training. The enemy often withdraws feeling, so that you may learn fidelity. Continue anyway. A prayer spoken without emotion, but with sincerity, carries immense weight in heaven. My children, look honestly at your homes, not to judge, but to restore. Is there peace or constant tension? Is there forgiveness or unresolved bitterness? Is there dialogue or only noise? The home is the first place where light is either protected or neglected. When love grows cold inside the home, darkness does not need to knock loudly. It is already invited. I ask you now to cleanse gently, not harshly. Remove what feeds constant anger. Limit what floods your mind with despair. Guard what your children consume, not with fear, but with wisdom. Teach them not only how to succeed, but how to remain human, compassionate, and faithful. Many will say that faith should be private and silent, hidden away so as not to disturb others. But my children, a faith that is hidden out of fear eventually withers. Faith is not arrogance, but neither is it shame. You do not need to shout. You only need to stand. I know some of you fear that you are too weak for what is coming. You say to yourselves, I am not strong enough. I am not holy enough. I am too broken. Listen to your mother now. Strength does not come from perfection. It comes from surrender. God does not ask you to be fearless. He asks you to trust Him with your fear. If you have lived far from God, return. If you have compromised, repent. If you have been distracted, refocus. Heaven rejoices more over one sincere return than over 1,000 outward appearances. Do not wait until pressure forces your decision. Choose freely while your heart is still calm. There will be moments when you feel isolated in your faith, when others mock, dismiss, or pressure you. Remember then that truth has always been carried by the few before it was recognized by the many. You are not strange for resisting what feels wrong. You are awake. My children, I do not promise that the days ahead will be easy, but I promise you this. You will not walk them alone. Grace will accompany every sincere step. Light will appear where you least expect it, and peace will remain with those who choose fidelity over convenience. Stay, my beloved. I will speak to you about the interior battle that will intensify during times of confusion, how to recognize subtle deception without becoming fearful, and how to remain anchored in hope when many feel lost. Remain with me. Hold fast to prayer And remember this: evil makes noise. God speaks in stillness. Child, I tell you with a mother's clarity, the greatest trial ahead will not be visible to the eyes. It will unfold quietly in consciences. Many will feel a subtle exhaustion of the soul, not dramatic, not sudden, but a slow wearing down. Faith will begin to feel inconvenient. Hope will begin to feel naive. Love will begin to feel costly. And in that interior fatigue, the enemy will whisper, "Rest, compromise, be like everyone else." This is the final snare. Do not expect evil to appear as something frightening. It will appear as something practical. It will say, "Adapt so you may survive. Remain silent so you may be safe. Accept what wounds your conscience so that life may continue smoothly." Many will believe they are being wise. Many will believe they are protecting their families. But wisdom without God is fragile, and protection without truth becomes bondage. I must speak plainly now, because love does not hide the truth. There will be pressure to redefine what is good, pressure to soften what God has made clear, pressure to treat faith as a private memory rather than a living commitment. And those who resist will be called rigid, outdated, even dangerous. This is not new, my children. It has happened before in other times, in other forms. But the pain it caused was always the same. This is why heaven has allowed Saint Michael the Archangel to stand guard over this hour. His presence signals that the battle is one of allegiance, not political, not technological, spiritual, a battle for the freedom of the soul. You must understand this clearly. When fear becomes widespread, people seek saviors. When confusion reigns, people surrender discernment. And when God is excluded, any voice that promises order will seem convincing. This is how domination begins. Not through force alone, but through consent born of fear. My children, I do not tell you this so that you may suspect everyone or live in constant tension. That would already be a victory for darkness. I tell you this so that you may remain rooted. A tree does not fear the storm if its roots are deep. It bends, but it does not break. Your roots are prayer, humility, and truth. If you neglect them, you will feel unstable even on calm days. If you nurture them now, you will stand even when others fall into panic. Begin where you are. Do not wait for ideal conditions. God works with what is offered sincerely. I ask you again to look at your life honestly, not harshly. Where have you allowed faith to become secondary? Where have you postponed reconciliation? Where have you grown accustomed to what once troubled your conscience? These are not accusations. They are invitations. Heaven always invites before it warns. Conversion is not a dramatic gesture. It is a daily turning. It is choosing truth when lies are easier. It is choosing forgiveness when resentment feels justified. It is choosing prayer when distraction feels comforting. These small choices will matter greatly in the days ahead. My children, do not underestimate the power of a faithful home. A home where God is remembered, even imperfectly, becomes a refuge. A home where prayer is spoken, even briefly, becomes a shelter. A home where forgiveness is practiced becomes a fortress the enemy cannot easily penetrate. I see many families fractured not by hatred, but by exhaustion. Tired hearts stop listening. Tired minds stop hoping. I ask you to restore dialogue. Sit together, speak gently, listen fully. Teach children not only how to navigate the world, but how to recognize truth when it is unpopular. There will be moments when you feel alone in your convictions, when friends, colleagues, or even relatives pressure you to let go of what you hold sacred. Remember then that you are not abandoned. Heaven sees fidelity even when the world mocks it, and no act of faith is ever wasted. If you stumble, do not despair. Despair is not humility. It is a lie that says you are beyond mercy. Return again. Begin again. God does not count how many times you fall. He sees whether you are willing to rise. My children, do not chase fear-filled predictions. Do not obsess over dates. The enemy loves distraction. Instead, anchor yourselves in what does not change. God is faithful. His mercy endures. His light is not extinguished by darkness. When outer lights fail, inner light must remain. When voices grow loud, silence with God must deepen. When the world demands haste, you must choose discernment. This is how you will remain free. I know some of you are weary. You say, I am tired of being strong. Hear your mother now. You are not asked to carry the future alone. Grace will be given for each day, not all at once. Enough for the step in front of you. Remain attentive, but serene. Vigilant, but not fearful. Courageous, but gentle. This balance will be rare, and that is why it will be powerful. Share this message with those you love, not as a threat, but as an act of care. Pray together when possible. Return to what you have neglected, and above all, do not harden your hearts. I remain with you. I intercede for you. I walk with you when the path seems unclear. Hold my hand when the world feels unstable. And remember this final truth, my beloved children. Darkness may come, but it will never have the final word. Light belongs to God, and those who remain faithful will never walk alone.